Okay, guys, let's watch the video. Let's watch the video. Wait. Let's watch the video. Wait. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. To me, I wanted Tekken to make the series feel fresh. Yeah. The keyword being aggressive. They meant to make a fun battle system where it would be more offensive focused. Where Tekken up until this point has been more defensive. Okay. In regards to making it feel fresh, I think it's going well. But on one hand, because offensive play is strong, it feels like the game nature leans a little bit too much towards offense. Oh, finally. They are acknowledging this. On that part, I feel there's still much to be worked on. Oh, thank you. Oh, they acknowledge that at least. There are both good and bad sides to this, but I think we are able to freshen up one part within the system. Okay. Alongside making a game where attacking is strong, by memorizing attack patterns, there's the aspect of anyone having fun and improving. Okay. There are a good number of new players that are beginning from Tekken 8. Oh, that's true. There's also a lot of players, Crudo, at various events. Oh, wait. Crudo. Start with Tekken, wait. Even at Master Cup, we participate in we have a lot of young participants we never saw before competing. Really young, okay. So there are a lot of new people, of course, playing Tekken. When we look at it as title after a year, while there are places that we succeeded quite a bit in, I gathered there are a lot of things to address going into Season 2. Which are... We don't really intend on changing the aggressive nature of the game where it's fun to be the aggressor. Okay. So that's not gonna change. But the other hand, on Season 1, because it was constraining for defensive players, and the hit system made it easy to make matches pretty one-sided. In terms of strategy, I feel we aren't able to balance the defensive aspects that well. Okay, good. That's good. They are acknowledging this. Defense. For Season 2, we'd like to focus on defense in terms of the lateral aspects of a 3D fighting game. So sidestep. And the ease of defending will be when being attacked. The heat system is the starting point and factor in which your attacks can really get explosive. Theories can get created on how a player or character should win to a certain degree. Okay. Battle strategy theories. It's correct that people theorize these things. Okay, so each character has different strategies. To expand upon this in Season 2, we are doing a particular thing. Okay, let's see. When you're in heat states and taking a lot of damage on the ground, we're adding the ability to recover about 38% from the actual damage inflicted. How? You now have the strategy of fighting while preserving your heat gauge. What does it mean? Up until the correct action when you activate heat is either to heat smash or rush down your opponent utilizing unique individual power-up or properties of heat. Okay, but by preserving heat, strategies are expanded upon, allowing you to fight in more advantageous ways in neutral compared to when not. So when you have heat, you recover health. Heat bursts and smash from their special stances as well. Yeah, that we saw this already. We saw this. Now you can heat burst out of stance. Now I have strategies where you can use heat bursts that stop an opponent's attack by utilizing stances. Okay, but I don't understand this health thing, guys. Some of you understood what it means. Health recovery when in heat. Having heat in stock increases recoverable health in wall combos. I don't know. So you recover health while being in heat. I don't understand. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, so we know already you can heat burst or heat smash out of stance. There are more things you can do than in Season 1 with heat. The reason why we made it so you could crouch after hitting engagers was for characters like Anna who have two strong choices for crouching, but it is not good. because because we had left like in season 1 where you could only stay standing. Cards will lose out on the merits of their kits. Of course, there are other cards aside from Anda with a strong crouching game that will suffer since they couldn't crouch. Yeah, I get it, but there are some cards that are good even standing, so it makes them even stronger now. To remedy that, we made it so players can now crouch. The thing people don't understand, when creating a game, you have to have a solid key concept. I don't know, I still don't agree with this change. I don't agree with the change. If you don't upload that, the game won't be interesting. So we don't waver from being aggressive, okay? In doing so, it guarantees a degree of fun, but of course it's been more balanced now. There are places where it might be unfair, so rather than tossing your concept, you'll just fix whatever unfairness is. Okay, I get it. Nerfing or reducing the frequency wherever it's unfair. It's not zeros and ones. There can be a between. Like, we believe that we have a good balance, but nothing in the world goes that well. Whichever you raise, the other drops. Of course, of course. Should you raise both, it ends up being half-baked. And you end up losing the good aspects. Whichever you raise, the other needs to drop. When you look at the reactions regarding Tekken 8 and where it changed most, yeah, it's a fair reasoning for now, but it's how you do it though. A lot of the negative feedback surprisingly came from the veterans. Of course! Surprisingly! Much of the dissatisfaction surprisingly came from the people who had been with the series for a long time. Conversely, there are people who thought Tekken was interesting. There are new people. Not Tekken is easy for new players or not is a different story. Like, completely different. People that are able to overcome that wall and find it interesting end up liking the structure of Tekken 8. I don't know. That's why they say 8 is interesting. And then, in regards to strategy balance, we try to balance it more towards the preferences of the veterans. Of course, the satisfaction of the people that originally found 8 interesting will drop. Yeah, but where do you go? I get their reasoning, but the problem is that right now, not only veterans are having trouble with Tekken 8. That's the problem they don't understand. It's not about a problem about veterans. Everybody is having problems with the balancing of Tekken 8. Even casuals think the game is too aggressive. It's not encouraging enough to play in a long term because it's tiring, guys, to constantly deal with aggressiveness in action, basically. That's the point they don't understand, you know? I don't know, what do you think, chat? Like, I don't think it's a veterans only problem. There's also in between. People that are not veterans but are still not liking how Tekken 8 works, basically. So, I don't know, there's always a in between, you know? What do you think? So, again, there's also always an in between. I don't know. All things considered, we see about how much an aspect might be too extreme, and honestly balance while monitoring. Okay. The subject of where is not very simple. It's super minute in the degree, or rather minute in the adjustments that are made. I hope they do a good job, man. When you look at the results from esports in the game in Season 1, Nakatsu and I talked about this, we are expecting unknown people to pop up. That's very telling. They made this game specifically so that the gap between veteran players and new players is completely gone. That's what they're telling us now. They wanted the new players to pop up. And that's not... I don't think it's very good. Because the game has always been very, very dependent on how much you knew about the game. Them wanting the game to be so easy means that, you know, they structurized the nature of Tekken 8, of Tekken in general, you know? So, they specifically made this game in order to make even casuals win. Is it that a good strategy? I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? In the end, people who are skilled go to high ranks. They end up climbing not always. They end up climbing ranks, but the characters that win or are the top 8 characters are actually quite scattered. Especially with 7, people like veterans mostly will question why certain characters were players who kept winning. Because some characters were broken. People like veterans that complain are actually the ones who got the best resolution with Tekken 8. Based on the results, 8 seems to be it for them. Another interesting thing. I mean, that's not really the point, because maybe veterans are still are still winning the game, but they are also not enjoying how the game is structured, because it completely destroys every gap that's between veterans and new players. It's not about them winning or losing. It's about how the game feels, how the game plays, guys. What do you think? It's not about, how the game works. It's not about winning or losing. It's about how the game works in its structure, I can still win in a thing, but if I don't like the thing, I'm still gonna say this is not good. Fix this, because this is not competitively and integer. You know what I'm? Too much pressing, too much guesses, too much plus frames, too much everything. Tekken 7 and prior to that was about strategy, movement, trying to get on your opponent, trying to see what they were doing, and then punishing them. Now we have mash into who mashes the most and with most reasoning wins. But that was not Tekken. Tekken was never about this. Never. Veterans mostly also complain about how they don't like the inconsistency is funny. We do our best to do that, and everything comes to a fine balance. I hope so. Seems good and going to the way we imagined it. Oh my god. So they imagined 8 Yoshimitsu in top 8. I spoke about this with Nagatsu-san, and the thing that makes the game a good product is that people that have never played Tekken or that start from 8 can have the feeling of, if I actually try, even I can win. Okay, I understand that they want it to be more. So they say this, okay? They specifically said this. They made a game specifically for new people to say, okay, I can win with this. I understand the welcoming nature of Tekken 8. I understand they want even new players to feel like they were competing against veteran players. But is it really made in the right way, Is it really made by the fact that everybody's broken, basically right now? You know what I mean? It's okay, the welcoming nature of Tekken 8. But the way they perceive, the way they want this thing to happen, it's not healthy for the game, for the general stability of the game, and so on, But they're obviously not going to be able to meet Mishima Star. I mean, if you see Tekken 8, there have been some crazy upsets. Koshmar beat Kudans. Lane beat, I think, with all due respect, Lane beat Lowhigh. There have been some crazy upsets in this game, man. Veterans are veterans for a reason. You won't say it's perfect. Having the chance to win is important. That's true. Managing that is in the continue. I may be able to win the next one. The reason why we're improving the movement aspect in Tekken 8 is very aggressive. Okay, that's good. Improving movement is very good. In 3D fighting games, you can use lateral movement as a defensive maneuver to dodge attacks. So improving sidestep is good, don't get me wrong. That's very good. Rather, since you can buffer sidesteps, depending on how your opponent attacks, you're able to evade. But buffing the defensive aspect is one thing that we're measuring. That's good. You couldn't crouch sidestep into foreground while crouching. That's also very good. That's been a thing for 20 years in Tekken, and now it's gone. You understand how many situations and how many interactions now we have to study, guys. It's not so, it's not a little detail. So many situations, so many interactions we have to study now. It's really not, it's not a little, it's not a small thing. It's a really big thing, this thing, eh? The new players that start from day find it difficult to understand why you couldn't do that despite being able to move laterally. Every player from every Tekken said the same thing. Why can't you sidestep from both sides? It's a thing always present in Tekken, not from Tekken 8. Even for us who played the sages didn't know why, so we wanted to fix that. Even then, they don't know why. In order to buff the defensive aspect and to improve on a point that didn't make sense for new players, we made it so people can move sideways, okay, while crouching. That's very good. Characters can move better to respond to attacks, strengthening defensive movement. Those are the changes we are adding. That's good. That's good. It wasn't intentional, but rather it was a technical limitation. We're sorry. After 20 years of the series, it was a scripting issue, right? We're sorry. It required engineering and would take time, so we just weren't able to do it now. And it became a kind of strategy within Tekken. For example, Kazuya's axe kick. They can move into the ground. So I'll do this. It's basically what happened. Yeah. Adding the option to move sideways. Yeah, every interaction is going to be so different now. That improves the defensive aspect, allowing players on the receiving end to test the new plays against their opponent's attack. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. For attackers, they need to figure out how to adapt to that. It's a new field of strategy. There will be a lot of situations where it won't be a 50-50. Yeah, that's good. That's good again. That's good. I like that the nerf kick from Dragunov we showed on track. They're saying this. The nerfed kick from Dragunov. All the players online will really have spammed that move so much. They know that. They know. QCF4. That's really specific. Lol. You seem to have suffered a lot personally. Yeah, everybody. A lot of damage. Yeah. The thing I wanted to say is that for whatever reason, people think that I made a decision with Harada-san. Lol. People on Twitter. That's nutty. We have roles on the team. And my role at the start of the project is I was working with Nakatsu to get the key concept aggressive. In my current role, I play the game a lot and give feedback with the players' feelings in mind. Thank you. Murray that said, why would you sidestep and duck when... no, wait. Why would you sidestep when you can crouch and block, by the way? That's the same player. He represents us. It was the same player that said, homing L sweep, why would you sidestep when you can block and... By the way, that's the same player. Thank you for the follow. This is pretty bad if that's Nakatsu. That's what I keep doing, right? Oh my god, so all the changes are because of Murray. Oh my god, let's hope. Let's hope Murray doesn't like Brian. Let's hope. I buy both fight passes for PC and PS5 and complete both. So you're okay. I understand. What with that I can go. Personal players here are just being salty, but personal players are maybe. Oh my god, it's calling us salty. I swear I'm not salty against Brian and Xiaoyu. I swear I'm not salty against Xiaoyu. I swear. A personal player might have a point. That's why for me it has to be Dragunov's kick. He got pretty specific. It's not really an adjustment point, but in season 2, I wanted to make it easier for people like beginners to understand. Okay. So as a first for the Tekken series, you see things like combo count, counter rate and punish mid-battle. That's so good. Guys. So, while we play, we can see combo damage, counter it. That's so good. That's actually great. Wow. So for the first time, like every other fighting game, you can see while playing combo counter it and punish. That's so good. Good. Counter it and punish mid-battle. Wow. Things that were only in practice. That's so good. When people actually can see pop-ups like clean when they go, I was able to go counter here. It's a pretty big damage combo. Oh, wow. It's the first time that you can see this visual change. Yeah, we can finally see Brian's combo damage in action and complain while playing. That's so good. Oh my god, this Brian combo, 150 million damage. Oh my god, this is so broken. That's great. That's great. I was kind of worried that it might be a bother of clutter the game and thought maybe we shouldn't go through with the plan. I mean, if it's an option, when we actually released it, it was easy to understand with all. Even when I'm playing, it feels good to know that a punish works. That's very good. That's very good. That's why I like it. That's so good, man.
So hard.
I was pretty obstinate about that and say, don't you dare put that in. Harada is very conservative. Me and Kimoto-san hated that. Lol. It's actually good, it's very good. The change to display numbers itself. It's good for players to understand better how the game works. It's more so it becomes everything. Yeah, but Tekken is numbers. Here's the thing about themselves and not displaying numbers. As for combos, if you can see just how large the combos can get, you know, Harada, okay, I get it, but you know, it helps players understand better what they're doing during a match, no? We felt like it was so interesting if you know conversely we felt it was if you okay. But recently the thing that's changed since back then, there are a lot of people watching streams where they want to know what's happening. Okay. In addition, this means that the number of players this time playing from home have increased. The times were different compared to now. We really wanted to show people how interesting the analog Tekken was. That's good. Again, you can see everything while you play. Counter, punishers, everything. That's good. That's good. That's really big. Yeah, it is. It is. Throughout the year, there was no arcade version of Tekken 8, and ended up being the first game to launch simultaneously for home consoles. It was difficult for us, but at one point within the season, I felt like we had 1.5 since the amount of changes we needed to add were as big as 2. Lol. Despite that, there were a lot of things we wanted to improve. There were places that players enjoyed and places that they felt dissatisfied with. As a team, we picked up the individual voices of players. Michael really worked on the patch notes. Wanted to make the expectations of players with Season 2. So we debated over things and tried to improve things in earnest. A lot of things changed in terms of fighting there, but there's also a lot of things that are fun too. I hope they did a good job, man. I hope. I sincerely hope the adjustments found with your character. I hope so. In addition to the changes made to the battle system, the visual changes to the UI we talked about earlier that displays information. You can enjoy all the new things. I hope you try everything and all the small things included and give us your feedback. Okay. So, they acknowledge all the bad things that happened with Tekken 8. They acknowledge the bad things happened. Oh my god, this video has 0 views, by the way, guys. It's actually, they are actually reviewing a lot of stuff. 0 views. What the fuck? This video has 600 views. No one saw this video. It's actually important. It's an important video. They said a lot of new things we know now about Season 2. No one cared. Okay. The only thing I really not understanding, guys, is about this health buff. This health buff while in it. I don't understand this health buff they said about heat. Well, let me see this again. Wait. We're adding when you're okay. When you're in heat state and taking a lot of damage on the ground. We're adding the ability to recover about 30% health from the actual We're adding the ability to recover about 30% health from the actual damage inflicted. So if you're in it, and you get knocked down on the ground, if you stay on the ground, you heal yourself. That's what they're saying. That's actually interesting, because then there is a choice between staying on the ground and waking up, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. I don't know. So while on the ground, you recover health. That's actually interesting. I don't know. Quindi se voi state a terra, praticamente recuperate vita. Non so come cazzo funziona. You're staying on the ground and you recover health. Doing so, you know. So I don't know. We'll see about how this plays out. I don't know, guys. I think all of these things we've seen today are good. Let's hope they do a good job. Let's hope. At least they, they acknowledged that there are some problems with Tekken 8. At least, they acknowledge that there are some problems with Tekken 8. I hope they try to fix that. Let's hope. Let's hope. There are 6 comments.